Something tells me that Jesus would side with the bishop over the posse in the pews. Donald Trump says the golden age of America begins right now. Hey, I like golden things. Golden Corral, Golden Crisp, Golden Retrievers.
Golden Girls. That's a golden ticket idea, right? I mean, how great was that show? Golden Grams. Another. Is it? I don't get this.
But is this really about to be the golden age of America? If you watch the inauguration like I did, then you might be thinking that we're entering the golden age of Christian nationalism and the golden age of billionaires. Well, the day after Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, he attended a prayer service at Washington's National Cathedral. During the service, Bishop Marianne Budde addressed the president directly.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
All the while, Donald Trump is just staring into the abyss and scoffing. And everybody there is just kind of like looking at each other like, is she really saying this? What is so bad about this plea? Is it so wrong to want people to be treated with mercy and kindness? Something tells me that Jesus would side with the bishop over the posse in the pews. Donald Trump got so angry about this that he posted on Truth Social at 12:39 a.m. The so-called bishop who spoke at the national prayer service on Tuesday morning was a radical left, hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the USA. Apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was a very boring and uninspiring one. Man, my throat's giving way. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology. T. What is that accidental T? Oh, you left a little spot of tea at the end. Donald Trump does not contain 1 ounce of compassion. 4 more years of insults, 4 more years of treating non-straight, non-white, non-Christian, non-cis, non-Americans as less than people. All she's asking you is to be less of a prick, man. Less abrasive, kinder, more accepting, more empathetic. These are foreign concepts, I know. You know, I wonder how Christian Facebook is taking this. Melinda says, religious spirit on display. She should be ashamed of her disgusting disregard for biblical principles. Immediate termination and a public apology would be a start for her disrespectful attitude. The bishop is simply asking for marginalized and oppressed people to be cared about. That's it. They're mad because she's asking for mercy. Deborah says it was totally unbelievable. She had no Christianity about her. She was a left-wing activist. No other words describe her. So sorry, Trump family, that you had to endure her liberal rant. Yes, big apologies to the pussy grabber and all of his family. Judy says Jezebel has taken over that church. She needs to be removed from leadership, and I pray she repents and is restored. I pray for this congregation and those who placed her in this position, that their eyes and hearts be open to Jesus and restore this church to Jesus. That's right, Judy. She needs Jesus. Get the hell out of here with your love, compassion, and kindness, Bishop. Mary Jo says the so-called bishop knew exactly what she, question mark, was doing. She was on TV making her radical left speech while masking her plea in a sarcastic manner to President Trump. She brought politics inside the church and is hiding behind the robes of a real bishop. Shame on her. Yeah, that's right, because the right never bring politics into church.
I will ask you to leave. I am not playing these Democrat games up in this church.
Is it innately political just to talk to Trump about what he said literally the day before? Is it political to remind him of the beliefs that he apparently claims to hold? Jennifer says there's no place for wokeness in the church, a beautiful cathedral, mostly empty. People aren't having it. You know what I want, Jennifer? I want you to define what woke means to you. At least some of the Christians get it, though. Like David Earl Williams III. Bishop Marianne Budde, who confronted Trump, expressed that she felt a moral obligation to address him. She embodies true Christian values and stands as a hero of virtue. The irony is striking as MAGA supporters lash out over this while showing no concern for evangelical pastors who openly engage in political preaching. Damn right, David Earl Williams III. Yet somehow the bishop wanting the president to be more Christ-like is not Christ-like? I'm not following. Bobby Weselick says, if you can hate anyone this much, you shouldn't be allowed to represent God, no matter what church you represent. This is sinful and shameful. Now, it would make sense if you were saying this about President Trump, but he's not, and we know that. I think you're talking to the wrong person, Bobby. Mark Linda joint account because one of them definitely cheated McDonald's says President Trump went to worship our God. You were very wrong to take away his worship. Shame on you. This guy went to worship?
I'm Protestant. I'm Presbyterian.
But have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
I'm not sure I have. I just go and try and do a better job from there. I don't think so.
Alan, who has never left his hometown, says, did she represent Christ? I don't think so. Wolf in sheep's clothing. The path is littered with such people. Move on, but stay on the path. Alan, did it hurt when the irony smacked you directly in the face? They will call everybody a wolf in sheep's clothing, except for the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's wild to see how many people think that she's the problem and not him. That is what we call bass ackward, kids. My name's Kevin. Let's continue to call out people who use Jesus' name for personal gain.